Once upon a time, there was a little girl called Millie and a little boy called Billy, who was Millie's younger brother. Millie and Billy shared the same bedroom, and sometimes, when it was bedtime and they were snuggled up in bed, they would play a game that Millie had made up called I Wish. They would take it in turns to start first. Tonight it was Billy's turn. He said, "I wish I had a tree house made of wood high up in the tree at the end of the garden." "How could you get to your tree?" Millie asked. "Will you climb up the branches of the tree?" "I wouldn't need to," Billy said. "There would be a rope ladder attached to the tree house, and I would climb up that." "It's my turn now, and you've given me an idea," Millie said. "I wish I could fly like a bird. Then I'd fly up and see you in your treehouse." "That was a good wish," Billy said. "Now it's time for my next one." "What's that?" Millie asked. "I wish I had my own little car and that I could drive up and down the garden path," Billy said. "A toy car?" Millie asked. "No, a real car, but a little one," Billy replied. "It would have a real little engine and everything." "Do you know what I wish?" Millie said, taking her next turn. "What?" Billy asked. "I wish it would snow tomorrow," Billy said. "Then we could have a snow fight with snowballs and make a snowman too and have loads of fun." "Yes," agreed Billy, "that would be great. I wish that too." Just then, Mummy came into the bedroom. "Time to go to sleep," she said. "Snuggle down under the covers, children. It's a cold night, and snow is forecast for tomorrow. Say night-night." "Night-night, Mummy," Millie and Billy said, and then smiled to one another. It looked as if that last wish of theirs might come true. Thinking dreamily about the fun they were going to have if it was snowy the next day, Millie and Billy snuggled down and fell fast asleep. When Millie and Billy woke up in the next morning and looked out of their bedroom window, they could see that their wish had come true. Everything outside was covered in a blanket of snow. They couldn't wait to go out to play. When they did, Mommy made sure they wrapped up in warm and heavy clothes, bobble hats, scarves, mittens, and thick socks inside their welling boots. Billy was the first one out in the garden. Millie followed soon after, but as soon as she got out of the door, she was hit by a snowball. "I'll get you for that, Billy," she giggled, and before he knew it, a snowball landed on top of his head. "Right, Millie, you asked for it," Billy laughed, lobbing another snowball in her direction. They had a great snowball fight. Then they set to work and made a snowman. They made a big snowball for the snowman's body and a smaller one for his head. Mommy let Millie and Billy have one of Daddy's old hats to go on the snowman's head, an old scarf to go round his neck, and a carrot to make his nose. She took them down to the garden shed, where they found a box of seashells and pebbles. They used these to make the eyes and mouth of the snowman and also his coat buttons. The snowman looked great. There had been something else in the shed, tucked in the corner, which had really taken Millie and Billy's interest as well. It was a sled. After lunch, Mommy, Millie and Billy took the sled out of the shed. They made their way through the gate at the side of the garden into the sloping field beyond. Mommy waited at the bottom of the slope as Millie and Billy pulled the sledge to its top. It was hard work pulling the sledge up the slope, but it was worth it. They both sat on the sledge as it twisted down. What a thrill! That night, Millie and Billy were snuggled up in bed, having a sleepy chat. They agreed that waking up to find snow on the ground had been a wonderful wish come true, and so had been the whole day. It had been fantastic. Millie and Billy drifted off to sleep soon after that, and they both dreamt lovely snowy dreams. Millie and Billy were playing with a ball in the garden when Millie suddenly stopped and said, "I've just had an idea." "What is it?" Billy asked. "Why don't we ask Mommy if we could put the tent up for us?" Millie said. "We could stay in it until tea time." "But what about our lunch?" Billy asked. "We could have a picnic in the tent," Millie replied. "What about our afternoon nap?" Billy asked next. "We could use the sleeping bags," Millie said. "So, what do you think?" "I think it's a great idea," Billy said. But when they asked her, Mommy was not so sure it was a great idea. "I think it's going to rain," she said, looking up at the grey clouds. But it wasn't raining yet. "Oh, please, Mommy," Millie and Billy pleaded, and a little reluctantly she agreed. Millie and Billy helped Mommy to put up the tent and put the sleeping pads inside. They also helped her to make their picnic lunch. They prepared 2 lunch boxes, each containing a cheese sandwich, a piece of cake, a drink and an apple. Once Millie and Billy were out in the tent, it started raining. It didn't matter. They ate their lunch, listening to the pitter-patter of the rain on the outside of the tent. It was lovely. After lunch, Millie and Billy both felt a bit sleepy. They took off their shoes, clambered into their sleeping bags, and had a snooze. It was still raining, and Mommy came out under the cover of an umbrella to see how Millie and Billy were getting on. She peeked into the tent to find them both snuggled up in their sleeping bags, snoozing happily. Millie and Billy had been right. Mommy had to agree. It had been a great idea to put the tent up.